Can't hear it.
Where's the volume at, Trav?
I knew I was gonna do that.
Come on.
I knew it. 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 I doggone knew it. Anyway, hold on. Wait a minute. I gotta share the screen again. I hate that I can't just automatically set this to be it. All right, here we go. Started from here. There we go. Yeah, I got it, man.
Bro, you're still here? Chris, what up, man? I'm just here enjoying, the lavish surroundings. The virtual fight tour 4 is coming up soon. You're going to be in it, so I just got to get my ticket early. And I'm just going to sit here and post up and watch, man. Bro, you can do that from the comfort of your own home, and you are way too early. This isn't until December the 19th. You can do that on my Uventex, bro. What are you doing? I mean, I could, but it just doesn't have the same experience to be inside of the cage. You know what I mean? You got a cage here, so I have to feel like I'm actually there for this stuff. I'm already stopped up. I'm waiting. Get it? Nah. I mean, I got this. I mean, they got your name on it. I'm good. No, thank you. Oh, no, it's the Christmas season, bro. Gingerbread cookies, right? I know you want gingerbread cookies, man. No, not the gumdrop buttons.
Whoa! Hey.
After the fact. I'm just so excited about the Virtual Fight Tour 4. It's coming up this Saturday. I just can't wait. December 19th, make sure y'all get y'all tickets. I already got mine. I feel like I'm in the experience because I'm in the cage right now. I gotta use the bathroom. Man, y'all need to get some showers in here or something, bro. Chilling, man.
Greetings, most honorable listeners and masters of the martial arts. I am Travis.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Big Los.
And this is CTE, and this is going to be an experience for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, I got some music for you. I'm in a laid-back mood, man, so I'm just going to... Assuming y'all can hear this?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Just in a laid-back mood, just chilling. Very relaxed weekend. Sitting back watching Virtual Forms tour. Watching
Looking where I'm at like it don't make no sense. Made a move for all the ones that never flinched. Every time I take a sip, I think of Flint. Make sure my family left with some, I leave a print. Going hood to hood like them ghetto twins. Beezy used to tell me I was special then. Partner wearing on, need attorney efforts.
All right. So how was you guys' weekend, your week? Before we get started, we are sponsored by the Virtual Fight Tour. And Virtual Fight Tour is coming up this weekend, December 19th. Make sure you go ahead and get your tickets at fighttour4.myuventex.com. And make sure you can see that crazy lineup. We got this 6 fights, including a grappling match with our very own Chris Walker.
Let's go.
Yes. You already know. Yeah, buddy.
All right. So How was you guys this weekend? We're gonna get into all the stuff that happened this weekend in sport karate. So, but besides that, how was you guys' weekend?
Go ahead, Los.
Weekend was good, man. Just chill, lay back. Not a lot going on, which is nice, especially going into the holidays. Kind of keep everything low key. So other than that, we was good, man. Just kind of chilling.
Chris,
How about you, C-Walk?
Man, I had a busy weekend. I had a busy weekend.
To say the least.
you have a house guest
overloaded.
right now?
What?
Do you have a house guest right now?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Just the fam.
Okay.
No.
I didn't know.
I don't think I could handle that house guest of any variety right now. It's been so hectic. But no. So Jack came in Thursday night. So of course I went and saw him here in Atlanta. And then dojo stuff, working all day. Saturday, helping out with the virtual forms tour as long as I could, and then going in and coaching Jack for his fights at the Pro Point, and then all of that, and then Sunday sparring, and man, it was go, and then family time after Sunday, because gotta make time for them.
Sure.
Yep. I had a relatively chill weekend. Nothing crazy. For the most part, I was just kind of watch the virtual forms tour. What I did do is I made some wings for it.
You made some wings?
In the air fryer. Yeah,
you did it. I was going to ask you, did you
in the air fryer? And man, I finally did it. I finally got my lemon pepper the way I want my lemon pepper, man. I finally did it.
Not on a pizza?
Nah.
What is that, like 8 months in?
Man, I finally got it. I figured it out. I was like, oh. Clap to myself, pat myself on the back. I felt good about it. Those I had like a regular buffalo, and I had like some sweet chili. No, excuse me. Nando's. You ever been to Nando's? Y'all been to Nando's? Y'all never been to Nando's?
I don't even know what Nando's is. No.
Oh, y'all had peri chicken before?
Nope.
Look, man. Look. Next time y'all go to DC. We're gonna go to Nando's. Nando's is fire. Like, if you like spicy food, number one,
yes,
it's fire. If you don't like spicy food, they got a flavored mild version that's not as, but it's really good, man. Like, we go there every time.
But anyway, sauce, or it's a sauce on the wings, or is it like the wings?
It's the spices that it's a sauce that they put on the wings, but they also cook it with the herbs and of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you get like double
yeah.
it. Like, it's just fire, man. It's like really good. Like, when I go to Ireland, I get it because it's over there too. Like, there's in England, it's all over the place. Nando's is fire. If you've never had Nando's, it's not a plug. I'm just saying, it's just
put me on. I appreciate it.
It's really good. All right, so let's get to it. Where we want to start today? All right, we're gonna start with. Let's get right to it because we got a lot to talk about, man. We're gonna get into virtual forms tour, man.
Whoa, Matthew Bowles.
Matt Bowles. What?
Matt Bowles.
Holy moly.
Oh, what up, Matt? Good to see y'all face. Have a great evening. And Travis, 100% right. Nando's is dope. Nando's, I'm telling you, Nando's is fire, man. It is great. Yeah, let's start with virtual forms tour. We want to start with this. Well, I guess we start in order. The juniors.
Yes. Interesting lineup. I liked
it. Was Los, you were wrong.
So I'm gonna go first. I have a little disclaimer that I apologize. So I decided I was gonna take a nap at about 4:30, and see what had happened was that nap turned into like real sleep, and I woke up like, oh. So I had to navigate my way. Like, I knew some people that knew some people. So unfortunately for me, I didn't come into the forms tour until the traditional part, so I can't comment on the juniors. So I'm gonna take a seat back on. I'm gonna take a back seat on this one. So Chris, you can go.
I had a great view of this. I was right. Yeah. I had a very interesting role. I was judging that one. I thought that the level of difficulty and the precision of each one of them was good, but there was just something about Nathan that listen, Mr. Tremblay he blew it out the box. Like
Yeah, Ethan
from
did crazy.
Ethan. Yeah, sorry.
I said Nathan.
I know.
Ethan.
Excuse me. I apologize. Could you just let it slide? no, but yeah.
It's like I know when I mess up, I know y'all gonna come back to me. But yes.
Oh, absolutely. But he just brought a different level of power and intensity with it. Ben looked great in his weapon until the drop.
Like yeah.
I thought it was good. I thought there were little internet issues. Esteban. There you go. We were both wrong.
What? He messed me up. He messed me up.
How did you get for correcting?
No, wait.
I could have came up with a name. I wasn't even
Jesus.
We're gonna be out of that one.
Oh
But
yeah.
no. Oh my goodness.
I was cooking and watching the show at the same time. But no. I did think it's Esteban. He was the one I hadn't seen.
Right.
So when I watched it, I'm like, oh, I was really impressed with a lot of people on the forums tour on this card. We're gonna get into them, but I was really impressed with a couple different people. Overall, I do think Esteban won. I was really impressed with those three, but I'm going to be watching them now. Like they're on my radar. Like that's
right.
They're all competitive edge, correct?
Yes, I think so.
All right. That's Jackson, right? Is that Jackson? I mean, it's not him, but
I think he's part of that group, like helping them out and stuff and working with them. Yes.
Right. Okay. I want to make sure because I'm gonna get to that in a minute. I'm gonna get into that in a minute about that because it's something when we get to the final part of it.
Right.
Because it really shows something there. But we'll go on to the next one. The next one is
Go ahead.
What?
Nothing. Go ahead. I'll wait till you bring it up. The traditional forms.
Oh, and the press. That's where I was confused. I was like, okay, look, I wasn't sure
about Jason Warren and the Presleys and that was that. I thought.
I wasn't sure how all of them are.
They got
connected.
a bunch of talent.
Interested in that.
That camp's got a whole bunch of talent.
Yeah, and that gets into something we're gonna keep coming back around. But let's get into the traditional challenge. Excuse me.
Yes.
And then that was Ali versus Mason.
Yes.
Because they were so technical, I was listening to what Jackson and Jeff were talking about and educating myself about it. Because I was sitting there like, okay, what are they saying? Like, man, you going from this part to this part, like you're not seeing these. I'm just sitting here just like soaking up energy because knowledge because that's not my foray. You know what I mean? I'm not special with that. So I wanted to really just see and understand what they were talking about, what makes a traditional form better or worse. Because once you get into it, you see the snaps and the stances, and I'm just like,
right,
this looks great. But I think it was clear that Ali won. So Chris, go ahead or Lo, since this is the one you actually you came in on.
Yeah, this is when I came in on. I was very impressed by both of them. Actually, I was impressed by Mason, just him being younger and kind of coming into the fold there a little bit more. I thought Ali had very good. I guess you're going to say timing and transition seemed a little bit cleaner to me. Where Mason, I thought Mason was really, really strong, he was crisp in some of his points. But there wasn't the flow into the next wasn't as smooth as Ali seemed to me, right? When I look at I look at stance, I look at base. When I was watching Ali's base, like when I look at his straddle stance position, he had more of almost like a table look, right? Where I felt Mason kind of had more of his knees kind of didn't really pop out to form like that table, that broad strong look. In certain times that he was kind of nailing his straddle stances or his horse stances during that time. Maybe it's just my perception. I could be off as far as what I'm saying, but that's kind of what I look for when I watch traditional forms. It's just kind of like your lines and how your bodies kind of go into your forms and or your stances and things like that. And I thought Ali definitely had that part of it. And it just looked like it was just a more matured form of someone that's more mature than Mason being young and just hungry and just pop, as opposed to understanding that timing that goes with it.
Chris,
Los, you have a lot of my same perspective in that. It was the transitions. It was the smoothness in between movements and sets. It was the way he was able to flow in and lock, where Mason was forced and he crammed it, which he did, and it works. But there's something on, and then that technique that has the simplicity of pop, 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 and then the way when, and I think one of Mason's didn't help him, not that it held him back or anyway, but his three forms were all in the same family and they're very similar. I lost you, Los. But yeah, very similar. He did Ohandai, Anandai, and then Anan, right? Like, so, like, that's all in the same family.
I'm gonna take your word for that.
Right. And and Ali threw three different elements at us. Varied stances. There was just Lo said it best when he said it just looked like a more matured version of the katas. So I mean, in that technical part of it, that's where I was at with it. Athleticism, they were both kind of right on point. Like, and that's those were the scores, right? Technical and athleticism, which is fantastic in that element, because you get to award that power, that snap, that crisp, that jump, that turn, that and lock. But then you also get to look at it from that other angle. So I thought that worked out really well. And
again, with my base being Goju, which is basically hard soft, right? The hard soft way.
Correct.
So when I watch Ali do his forms, you can see that Goju in his form within how he's doing it, right? It wasn't just like a Shotokan hard style form. It was like this. We're talking about like that flow, going from hard to soft to back to hard to that real fluidity within his form.
All right.
I mean, sorry, Trav, what you got?
I was just sitting.
I watched it and I thought it was good.
Yeah, I just thought everything was good. I was sitting there like, dang, I don't know how are you gonna. I was in that novice looking at like, I don't know how you're gonna say which person is clearly better. I'm just like, okay, I can't pick
You don't do that. That's
you know
not
what
what you do. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's not there. But what was interesting was that when they talked, when Jackson and Carmichael and Jeff would speak about it, I knew what they were saying. You know what I mean? Like I started replaying back what they said. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that is correct. That is right. Okay. But it was also interesting to see how a judge is looking at the form and judging it. So by how they were breaking it down, I'm like, okay. Because remember, I think it was last year, I was like, I don't understand how Rashad's not winning. Right. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't get it. And so once I heard, because we'll get there in a minute, but once I heard what Carmichael and them were saying in the next round, I started seeing what they were talking about. You know what I mean? I started picking up on what the things that they were saying and things like that. So let's get into the next round. I pulled
just really quick before we go to the next one. So last week I said I wasn't really a big traditional forms fan, right? I never really got into it too much, but I allowed myself to be open to watch it, and I was really, really impressed and pleased with what I saw. So kudos to those guys getting out there and doing it. Kudos to Jesse's bringing it out too, because like I said, I come from traditional background, but I've never been a real traditional forms guy. But I allowed myself to sit and watch it and to really kind of embrace what I was seeing and really kind of get a good analyzation of it. And I thought they did a great job.
Cool. All right. So put us on the side. All right. So this one here is where I got to be found myself very into it. You know what I mean? Because like before, I hadn't saw Noelle and I hadn't saw Solange, and when I was watching it, I was like, all right, I want to see if Sammy, you know, because was coming off an injury, so I wanted to see how she was going to perform, right? So I was into it. When I sat there and watched it, the first thing I thought was, all right, Solange. To me, Solange is the one that is I don't know how to say it, but like the other one seemed more polished. Seemed a little bit more. Yeah, Solange has a lot of talent, but I thought Solange has, in the sense of the forms, Solange has a lot more work to do than the other two, in my eyes, of just how she was punching, how she was kicking, and how she was getting from transition to transition into the next trick, her landings, how straight her legs are when she was doing things. I was like, all right, she's one of those ones that has a little bit more things to work on technically. When I watched Noelle, I was very impressed to the point where I actually thought Noelle was going to win, right? I was sitting there like, oh, shoot. And when I heard Carmichael and Jackson speak, it was just like, hey, they're taking it up, blah, 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 and they would break things down. But when they got to Noelle, they were just kind of like, yeah, she did a great job. And they kind of talked about it. And I was just super impressed with Noelle, because I actually was like, yo, maybe I think she might have got Sammy. This is going to be really close to see how it went. And then Sammy came out and did her thing. And I was like, well, okay. Because I actually thought that the weapon should have went to Noelle, because I think Sammy won both rounds, but I thought that Noelle should have won the weapons round. But I thought the forms round Sammy won. So I was interested in seeing how the scores played out. And that so what do you guys think?
Chris, go ahead.
This is for me. I had to step away because I had the dual commitment. We ran a little longer than what I initially thought, so I was kind of watching from the side after I was done in between coaching. So I saw Noelle's form, which was very impressive. I didn't get to see any of them, and then I saw Solange's weapon. That's all I got in, unfortunately, for this round. She had 9s for both.
Yeah, Sammy had 9s for both. Yep. Los?
So my original pick was Noelle. And I personally thought she was a little better. I thought Solange I thought did well, but like how you said, Travis, I feel like she still's got a little ways to go. To really kind of get to that next level of being that elite top level competitor. But I thought that Noelle definitely was on top of her game. And I believe Sammy did really good. Like I thought she did really well, but I thought Noelle had did enough to put a little bit more pressure on Sammy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to really make a judge have to really think like, all right, do I go with the vet, the person that's been around, or do I really allow this young girl to have her moment? Like, you know what I mean? I feel that was kind of, I mean, you don't want to ever criticize judges in that way, but that takes a part sometimes. Like, you know what I mean? Sammy is the vet. She has a lot of the experience. She does a phenomenal form, but I thought Noelle's open hand form was stronger. And I thought her bow staff was definitely something to really kind of go for.
Yeah. I was really impressed with it. And, she's coming out of Mike Welch with Team Infinity. So and they have a stable, like just
they got a strong camp.
They have a stable, like AKA they have a stable, and that's why I think
I can see her and Sammy like really going at it though. Like
yes, that's what I'm saying. Like this,
like real battles, like really going at it. Like, you know what I mean?
I see this turning into being something like, okay, yeah, this is going to get heated.
She's gonna make Sammy step her game up more for sure, without a doubt.
Yeah. With Mackenzie Emery, like it's going to come with those 3 young ladies. I'm just going to be sitting there watching them compete. Like, yo, all right, like this is.
I would have liked to see Mackenzie, because I think Mackenzie is really strong too. Like, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, I would love to see them kind of like all 3 of them. That's going to be good to watch. It's going to be a great.
Yeah, that's going to be really, really good to go. I can't wait to start watching those battles with those young ladies. let's go on to
The main.
and you know what? Well, during the interview, the thing I didn't know that Sammy was a Daniel Sterling.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh.
So when she said it, I was like, oh wait, come on now.
But when you watch when I watch her form though, when she said that, I could see that.
Yeah.
And really, it was, and it wasn't. I mean, obviously Daniel had like this phenomenal way of jumping and leaping and things like that, but it was how she did her kicks. I was watching her high roundhouse kicks. I was watching how she sets up her kicks. I was like, okay, now I see how she's from Daniel Sterling's line. So you can definitely see that.
Yeah. So it was dope. And then she also said that she actually talked about because Carmichael had mentioned like I could see her nunchucks were similar to Emmett, like Matt Emmett, and she mentioned that at the end.
She worked
like, I kind of wanted to do it that way. She said she had 4 different forms, changed it a lot, so she put a lot of prep into it.
And then said she went back to just a form that she just knew.
Yeah,
that she just knew was like this. You know, this one is solid. I'm just gonna go with this. That was dope. That was a great interview at the end of there. I thought she did a good job.
It was. It really was. You could see that veteranship, but and so then we get into the main event, which was Connor Chastain, Shaquan Parson, and Rashad Eugene. A lot of this was very interesting. Once I sat back and watched it, I thought to myself, like, how come you didn't see this beforehand? Right? Like, Shaquan to me is, as far as forms go, I think he's very strong. He jumps high. He got some nice kicks, blah, blah, blah. But his weapon to me has always been a weakness for him. You know what I mean? Like, it's not weakness, but it's not on that same level as the other guys when he's doing his weapon. He doesn't do a lot of, flips or anything like that. It's just almost straight. Like, you know what I mean? It's almost very similar to what he does in forms. So it's not a lot of manipulation with his weapon. Rashad, on the other hand, I always thought his forms were the ones that was kind of more the weaker version for him, but his weapon is strong. Connor is the one who is like on both levels, you know what I mean?
Yep, both of them work.
So it's not a shock that Connor won that. It's just kind of like, oh shoot, Connor stepped in on 5 days notice, but if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. You know what I mean? So he came out. I was like, oh shoot, okay, he. The interesting thing about it is that Jackson had told him before, like, hey, don't do the same trick over and over again. You rely on that, switch it up. And so that was something interesting to me, like that he actually coached him a little bit, and he's coming from, once again, Team Infinity, being coached by, Mike Welch.
Right.
So what did you guys' thoughts? And I'm gonna come back and come to something, my overall theme of this whole thing. But go ahead. What you guys thought?
So it was hard to, from my point of view, it was hard to really see Connor and like what he was actually, because of the angle of his camera and how it was set up. Like, you know what I mean? Like in the way the school was, it was kind of like a long, narrow but long. So it kind of like when he went away, it was really hard to follow. For me, it was hard for me to follow what he was doing in those moments. Shaquan, man, I felt Shaquan like when he was doing like his hand combos and just his basic stuff, his shoulders just seemed like his shoulders were up like this the whole time, and like they didn't like relax and settle. And to me, that when I saw that, and that was kind of like, I was like, man, is this how he always does his forms? Because I felt like he just never relaxed his shoulders in between his combination, his sets that he was doing. And then again, Rashad, it's funny. I was thinking about Rashad. I think Rashad is basing his form off the body types of like a Shaquan and some of the smaller guys, and he should base his form off the body types of like a Matt Mullins or a Mike Chat, who was a little bit taller, a little bit longer, and how they did their forms, I think would definitely help him progress more in his actual open hand form.
Christopher, did you see this one?
I saw bits and pieces of this one too. I think you kind of summed it up with the essence of it, Travis. Shaquan's got really good forms. He hops. He's a high flyer, but the weapon. And then Rashad is the opposite. And then Connor is streamlined,
streamlined through it.
Through it. You know, he's clean.
Yeah,
he's clean too. So
he is. So
he can do. You know, go ahead.
So here's what I got into. Oh, let me get down there. So here's what I got into as far as the overall about this. The thing that came to me was, who's mentoring Shaquan and Rashad in Forms and Weapons? That is a Forms and Weapons person. Like when you talk about Sammy, she's got Daniel Sterling, she had Matt Emick. When you talk about Noelle, she's coming down the pipe Team Infinity with Mike Welch. Connor, the same thing. Even he's Team Infinity, but also we talked about Jackson actually having a personal relationship and talking to him about it. You know what I mean? The Competitive Edge kids, the young man Esteban, I'm never gonna forget his name now.
Nope.
Are all under Competitive Edge. That means you got the Presleys, you got Jackson, you got Warren. Like it's too many. You know what I mean? Like it's just you go down the list of people who are mentoring the other people. Yep. So I'm curious as to who is. These guys have a lot of talent, but who are the ones who are going to be mentoring them to go to the next level? Because Carmichael would point out certain things that I was sitting there like, yo, if they had this just somebody sitting there coaching them all the time about it, that I think they'll take them to the next level. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to use that word, but he said it used to be
for at least one of them.
It used to be Sensei YouTube to the point where I'm making my own thing. See,
Richard, when you do it, go check out Matt Mullins if you get a chance, man. I think your body type would definitely fit and what you're able to do as far as your jumping ability and things like that. Matt Mullins, I think, would be a good person to kind of look after and kind of look up.
Yeah, they have raw talent. Like that's where I'm looking at them. Like they need somebody who's just, and we're gonna get into this a little bit later about Virtual Fight Tour, but they are like, in order to go to that next level where they're winning on this circuit,
right?
They need, because one of the things that was interesting to me, really, was a comment Carmichael had mentioned about Sammy, and he was like, "Look, she broke it down in each one of these sections, right? Mm-hmm. He was like, she had this section to do this section to do that, and it was just put together very well." And I'm here, like, as a person who doesn't do forms, I never would have thought of this section would be for this, and then this section would be moved over to this. And I'm like, I can see them not putting their form together in that way, where it's just like, all right, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and it's not like this section is for this section is for this. You know what I mean? Choreographed for a specific reason. So I'm interested in if they can find somebody who is mentoring them, guiding them, and saying, "Hey, this is how you're doing it. This is how you should do it." Blah blah blah.
Right.
If they find that, fam, like I don't know where because their raw talent is just insane.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, that's where I took away from the Virtual Form Store. Like you think about Mason, you got Jason, Jared Liker. You know what I mean? Yep. So he has that person who has already been to the mountaintop, coaching him on how to get back to the mountaintop, and that is very invaluable in this doggone sport. You know what I mean?
Especially when it comes to forms too. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean everything, forms and fighting, but forms is definitely something that you need to have someone, like you said, a mentor to kind of help you.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get on to the next one, which is, hold on, let me bring up the banner.
Dum, 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 da, da, dum.
PP 2.2.
Pro point 2.
Papa.
All right. Disclaimer: I was watching Virtual Forms Tour and I did not see this. So I'm just gonna say it. I didn't see it. I was like, I'm cooking, I'm doing this. I'm like, all right, I'll get to it in a minute. And then it's like, all right, can't do it at this point. All right. So Chris, tell me what's going on. Los, tell me what's going on. But Los, you were able to watch.
Yeah, I watched. Honestly, I was able to do both. Right, I had my phone that had the virtual forms tour, and I had my computer, my laptop that had the Pro Point going on. So that's how I was kind of be able to stay kind of abreast of everything that was going on. I thought I thought the pour point fighting was a lot cleaner than what it had been that first time. It wasn't just this like slugfest almost. I thought it was definitely a lot cleaner. I thought the fights were good. Some not as good, but it's just matchups and how that works out.
Yeah.
Overall, I thought it was good. I thought they had some good fights. Obviously Jack did what Jack does, did a great job. It was great to see Jason out there getting in the mix with everybody. I was really, really impressed with Romani. I was really, really impressed with Brandon and how those guys fought for the weekend. But yeah, obviously Jack was the man and will continue to be until he's told he's not.
See Walk until he gets old. See Walk, you were in the building.
Yes, I was.
What did you think about Pro Point 2?
I thought they made some good adjustments all the way around. The ring mats were good addition.
What was did they make the ring bigger?
The ring was good sized. It was a little. I can't even tell. Maybe the same size. But that was one of the things we talked about. I think that needs to get a little bit bigger because there were a lot of flags. Brandon and Jack. That was the fight of the night.
You brought it up, so we're gonna get into it.
That ended up. We'll get there. Come on, man. No. But yeah, that ended up being that. Whatever you want to do.
I didn't see none of it, so I can't tell you what was a good fight, what was a bad fight. I just heard certain fights have sticking points that we can talk about.
Absolutely.
But
yeah. Running down the card. Go ahead. Los.
Who were the first two fights?
The first fight was Jason and Luis.
No, Luis.
Jason and Luis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even I thought it was a good fight. I thought Luis was giving Jason a little challenge at first, and then it seemed like the second round, Jason kind of changed it up on him and kind of kind of got to him and was kind of changing some of the direction of that fight. And then the next fight was
Zayn and Romani.
Thought that was a good fight. I thought Zayn wasn't able to really get his kicks off the way that he wanted to.
He looked heavy.
Yeah, I think Romani did a good job neutralizing that and then kind of taking advantage of what he needed to do. It was good back and forth at first, and then it seemed like Zayn just couldn't get his leg going. Like, when you can see the difference between guys that are just kickers that can't transition to punching. They have a difficult time when that kick isn't really doing what it needs to do.
Working, yeah.
And Romani did a great job as far as that fight goes.
Then
the third fight was
Jack.
So
Jack and Ronald.
Jack and Ronald. Yeah, I thought Ronald was trying. He was trying.
Ronald was in there to fight. He was
out there. He was. No, seriously, man. He came.
Because he was a replacement, and you could look at that and say, "Oh man, I got Jack first round," and then just kind of like shut down. I
ain't got nothing to lose.
I
ain't got nothing to lose. I got all the gains. So he actually, I was impressed. Like sometimes you see guys that come out and they fight like these veterans, man, and people that have been around and kind of been doing what they do.
That's what I'm saying.
And some of these young guys come out and they kind of like, I don't know. He came out like, screw it. What else is gonna happen?
Right.
Then you could tell like towards the end of the second round, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, you know what? I was just playing. I was joking.
So the next fight was
let's go to the next fight.
Jalen and Brandon, which was an interesting first round, and then just got sloppy second round.
Interesting first round. What happened?
Brandon was getting adjusting to starting. He looked like he was slipping a lot. Jalen caught a couple of head kicks in there pretty early. They were kind of getting after it, and then once Brandon made the adjustments and then started taking off and putting the pressure, Jalen just appeared that he had a very minimal gas tank for that kind of super fight action.
I think that's what happened. Right? From my watching it, it looked like Jalen started off good. He was going, and then once Brandon started kind of pressing him more, like it almost looked like it wasn't just gas, but it was almost some of like the anxiety too, like not knowing how to stop this pressure from coming in, So that the second round of that got kind of sloppy. But But it is what it is. Is his first time getting out there and kind of being on that light and in that stage, and hopefully he can grow from it.
Yes.
All right, and then that means that was Romani versus Jason. Oh, that's the deep breath you got to take right there.
That was a good fight.
Yeah, I didn't think Jason won that fight though. Again, flat out. I mean, I again, no knock on Jason. That's my man. I wish him all the best. But I just thought Romani did enough, or maybe a little more, to win that fight. And I was surprised at the outcome. I was just from me watching. I was surprised by it.
Oh, whoa! Really, Craig?
I knew it. Oh yeah.
Was it okay? Was it that lopsided that it was like it's not even close? Why is this?
Well, I'll tell you.
I wouldn't say like super lopsided, but you could.
Jason was the older fighter.
In the room, there was kind of a ooh.
Jason was the older fighter. And I hate to say it, but he was a step off, or a moment off. You get what I mean? Like some of the stuff that we talk about as you get older, the timing, the reaction, things like that. And I felt Romani, again, wasn't afraid of who was fighting, right? So that has a huge element to it, right? If I'm not afraid, I'm just going to go do what I do. You know what I mean? I think that definitely slowed. And then Jason started, instead of Jason staying technical, he started getting kind of more wanting to kind of thug, like wanting to kind of just bang the person, as opposed to, kind of honing back in and tightening things up and getting them back to how it used to be.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Mike says, I agree with you, Los. I thought Romani took that one.
Yep. And then both Alex and Mike countered off with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, Alex says this is why the scores need to be displayed. And Mike Bates says, and when you don't show the points being scored, this can happen.
Can I get what I thought persuade the judges to a certain degree?
Yeah.
So what I thought persuade the judges to a certain degree is you could hear Ernest and Alex speaking, right? And I thought in the time that the judges were kind of deciding who they were going to pick, Ernest got saying, I'm going to pick Jason. I'm going to pick Jason. I'm going to pick Jason for that fight. And you could hear it. I don't know if you can hear it. Can you guys hear it in the stadium there?
Yeah, I was going to get into that. Yes,
yeah.
They are mic'd up and speakered into the room. That's why there was a lot of banter back and forth with the coaches. But
what was crazy was, like, he was saying it, he was joking when he was saying it. And you could tell he was joking, but he was joking like saying he was throwing a shot at Joey Greenaw. Like, I want to pick Jason because I don't like Joey Greenaw. But he was saying it in a joking way. And then when the results came out, you see Ernest look like, well, all right, well, let's go on to the next fight. Because he was saying it in a joking way. And I think that in a certain degree kind of could have influenced the judges as to who they were picking. And I don't know, how was it they were picking the people, or were they going by points?
No. They're supposed to be going by points. They got an app on their phone where they're tabulating the points as it's going along. So they're scoring points.
So technically Jason would have had more points?
That's what they're saying at the end of each round.
Interesting. Again, I mean, I didn't see that. My view.
No, I didn't either. I expected Romani to come out of that fight. I thought that was kind of apparent. I mean, honestly.
So let me get this straight.
Mike P, you're right about that, Mike P.
So they're going by points, and each person says who would have won that fight, right? Is it that round or both rounds?
I think it's rounds, and then if the rounds are split and the judges are split and there's a draw, then they go to total points, because that's what ended up happening with Jack and Brandon.
But I don't get that though.
Okay, so let me get.
You can win the first round by like 12 points, and then you could lose the second round by 1 point, and then you have to go to total points. Because one round won by 11.
Jason was
based on each judge. What?
Jason was a unanimous decision from all judges.
Bro, listen, when they said unanimous decision, we're like, oh. In my mind, I'm like, oh, okay, Romani got this.
Yeah,
I did too. And then they said Jason, and that's why I'm saying it felt like the whole room was a collective. Ooh.
Okay, so okay, so let me get this straight. Let's say the first judge had it 5-4 in the first round for Jason, and then 4-4
as
in
a draw.
The second round. That would mean Jason would have won 9-8, right?
Correct.
And so that's a unanimous. So that means that each judge could have had something like that.
Something like that. Yes, correct.
Where Jason was the winner, and everybody's like, "Wait, what?" So,
I think even if that was the case, that's not what I saw.
Okay, but see, that's my point.
Or how you were calling the points to get to where it was even like that.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not saying Romani just like washed Jason. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying
But-
overall, though, when you look at the fight, it really looked like he was that dominant fighter. Like, you know what I mean? And honestly, it reminded me of the Ryan George fight the last time when I felt like the kid that Ryan George fought, like, I thought he kind of put the pressure. I think it was that Christian kid, right? He fighting
Christian.
in, yeah,
Christian,
I thought he
Saturday.
put a good enough pressure during that fight to kind of give him that edge. Like, I mean, and that's the same way I felt with this last one here.
Well, see, that's what. All right, look, free advice. I'm going to say this because I mean, they ain't paying me, so I got to say it. But I just don't think not showing the scores is valuable. I don't see the. I think they want the who won, but you're opening yourself up to a lot more criticism rather than just saying, "Hey, these are the points that people are getting scored on." Like, you don't have to stop them. You can just they're scoring on the tablet, and you're just seeing the points just pop up.
Just digital display. You can even make it where the fighters don't see it.
Round 1, round 2, round 3. You blah 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 blah.
Yes.
To me, there's value in seeing the score. Like, I don't get not seeing the score.
It's like there's no other sport where you have to win by points where you don't collect and see the points.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, obviously other sports you can see the goal the ball going in the hoop, you know what I mean? The puck going in the net, and you can count that and write that down. But like, I don't know. I agree with you. I think there needs to be some sort of scoring system that's displayed. I don't care how they do it, but kind of let people know what's going on rather than just guessing. Like, I wonder why. And then Brandon versus what?
Yep, it's Brandon versus
Brandon and Jack.
And
that was a good fight.
That was a good fight.
And they went into overtime.
No, they didn't go to
overtime.
overtime.
Not overtime.
They split the decision and had to go to had draws, so they had to go to total points.
So explain to me again, though, Chris, on that, right? So if you have 3 judges, so you have one judge that had it a draw, between the 2 rounds, the one judge had it a draw. Between 2 rounds, one judge had Jack. Between 2 rounds, one judge had Brandon.
Correct.
Okay. So that means that
and then when you added up,
winning 2 rounds against Jack.
So yeah, that means someone had Brandon winning 2 rounds against Jack.
Or the first round was a draw, and the second round they had Brandon winning. That's how they could see Brandon going in that way. So if it was 5-5, and he was like, first round I had 5-5 draw, second round I had Brandon winning, 3-1. Bam, that Brandon wins on my card. You know what I mean? So that's how that works out. And then when you come down to that, you had to do total points, and Jack won by 4. 2024, I believe.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. Let's get to some of these comments real quick.
Saying the same things we're saying.
People will say this is on every card unless they are displayed. Yep, Alex. Mike Pombero said, I was impressed by both Romani and Brandon. I like Brandon at this weight. He looks fast. He was strong and had a great gas tank. We're going to get into that in a minute, Mike. Brand says each round show the points. That way the coach and fighters can develop a game plan and some adjustments and give their fighters 90 seconds break to get the game plan together. I kind of agree with you there.
I think at least the first round.
Yeah.
Right. Like, give me something in the first round. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like you showed the score, and now I'm like, all right, I'm down instead of thinking I'm up. Then you're gonna have more action. They're worried about
Ben's second comment says that the same thing.
The only positive I can think for not showing the points would be that it forces fighters to fight aggressively the whole time. I'm assuming no, because you're assuming that people think they're down. If I think I'm just scored 8 times on this person, he only scored on me 2, I'm gonna lax off.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not knowing it. But also, if you see the score and that person is creeping back, I have to like, all right, no, I'm not going to lack off the whole time. But I mean, last 30 seconds, yeah, maybe. Yep. All right, what did John say? All right, Gene said, Chris,
I trained
why are you training?
I've already trained today, sir.
And Angel and Glory.
What's up, Angel?
Made it visible to the fighters who they think won the round during the 1 minute break. Yeah, I like that. I think that should be standard, like you showing who won the round. Like I think people didn't do it in the past because of the fact that when they set it up, you couldn't. Like they were writing this stuff down on their little piece of paper, and then that was it for in 1920. Yeah, that's what they did. And then as it got old and as technology came above, people just were stubborn. This is the way it's been. And it's like, yo, you don't have to keep doing things the way it's done. Whatever. Anyway. And then we moved on. Once Jack won, it was Jack versus Jason. I didn't see the fight, so
yeah, I mean, it was a good fight. I mean, Jack was Jack, you know, and Jason was a little tired. It seemed towards that point.
Jason's not Jason.
When I say Jason, to me, Jason is always going to be Jason, even when he's not Jason. I hate to say it, but I get what you're saying, Trav. But to me, like even in that, like Jack is still Jack. You know what I mean? It's just a Jack is still kind of moving in a different direction right now.
Yes,
but it was good. I mean, Jack pretty much was dominant in both rounds. I thought Jason kind of tried to start. That fight was the first time Jason actually really started kicking, right?
Yes.
In like the first 30 seconds of the fight or so.
Yes.
And then he put his foot down, and now he's just trying to punch. It's like that's not gonna happen, Jack.
Well, I would assume Jack probably made a miss and not let him touch him, and he got frustrated and he said, "I'm gonna punch him now."
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like that was the first time that he started. I don't think I really seen him. He didn't really kick really often in the other rounds until he got with Jack.
No, because you got potentially 3 more. So if you can save the best for last,
saving his energy, I guess.
Correct.
You know what I thought I had? This is a crazy thought that I had a couple weeks ago. I wanted to talk about it, about when we got to talking about Jason.
Yes, he did, Mikey.
Yeah,
Jack landed a pretty hard side in the second round.
Yeah. You guys out here. I don't listen. I'm old too. I know if I get hit like that, you'd be like, wait a minute. Wait a second. Yeah, that was a good kick.
Angel, we'll get into that 1 second. All right, let me get to this real quick. This thought I had, maybe a little off, but it is just an interesting thought that I had. Jason in the early 2000s was really dominant, right? But then all of a sudden he started not winning as much as he was, but he wasn't old.
I can tell you why. I know why.
Go ahead.
He stopped kicking. He started to become a puncher.
All right. Do y'all know what happened to Jason in that time frame when he started to lose?
No.
He got a sponsorship to wear certain types of feet pad. He was doing that ring star. He was like one of the first people to start doing ring stars, right? And as the person who I can't stand kicking in ring stars. It just makes my foot feel a little bit heavier, right?
Yeah.
So if you're a kicker and you're trying to kick with those ring stars on, and that slight little bit of speed that you had got decreased, people can start catching your kicks and moving in and catching you and stuff like that. And I always thought, I never understood why Jason at 25, 26, 27 years old, he kind of just stopped being the man at that point in that lighter side. And I just never understood why. Like he should have been
that's a great point. Like, and even a simple fact, like just the subconscious thought of you're wearing a shoe, so I'm not going to kick because I'm wearing a shoe.
Yeah.
You know, it's a subconscious.
I hated those things.
Like you're not even really thinking like it's a sparring shoe. It's like you subconsciously just thinking like it's a shoe. Like, so I'm not going to kick with a shoe on. Like, that's interesting.
Yeah. That's I was like, why? Because around 2006, 2007, he just wasn't the same Jason for some reason. And like, you're 26, 27 years old. You shouldn't be like, that's when you're supposed to be getting to your prime. Now you could say like he's not training. I'm like, okay, but he was always just athletic, and he always fought every weekend, damn near. So I didn't understand. I was like, oh, people just figure Jason out, which is part of it. But you could figure out Raymond, you still can't hit him. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, okay, you know what's coming. And you just can't stop it. And Jason back in the day, you couldn't stop it. That's just my thing. Like, I think ring stars kind of stopped his momentum.
That's interesting. That's a pretty good analogy right there, brother.
All right. Angel asked, what did you guys think about the flags? I felt like it kind of took away from the fight.
Not a fan of the flags.
What are the flags?
Flags are for out of bounds. Like if a fighter steps out, you throw a penalty flag in, and the referee stops it.
I'm sorry. Oh, that's interesting. Like, okay, all right.
Yeah, it was. No, I didn't like it. But I think the ring, like I said, I think the ring should be bigger. allowing for a little bit more movement, a little bit more action. Because
Okay,
I
so
couldn't
who threw the flags in? One of the judges?
side people. No. They were different people. They were assigned to look at specifically when the fighters got around the edge.
Oh.
So the flag, like a fighter blitz, and the guy cut an angle, and their foot went out of bounds and stuff. That was their like a line judge.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. That's
Instead,
interesting.
instead, instead of like holding up a flag,
Yeah.
I think a hold up would be better, like a red flag or a white flag to hold up which person it was, rather than to actually throw the flag out and then have to say it. Like,
That's
I mean, I think you can do it, but I think it needs to be a bigger ring, and it should be like just a raise your color flag and move through that way.
All right. No, Angel, I do not think the talent. Never mind. Not from the first one. I thought the first one was better. All right, talent pool. I will say this. Joe Greenhall has a squad. Look, between Brandon, Romani, and Bailey, that's a young squad that is formidable. Like,
listen, like I was like, just imagine the matchup stuff. It was Jack versus Brandon and Jack versus Romani, like, you know what I mean? And then having Jack already beat Bailey, like that would have been great. But then, like, when you think about it, though, you got three fighters that are kind of
on the same squad on the
same
like
squad, kind of upcoming all together, like together. Like, it ain't like,
I think they're not far from each other, that they train together. Like,
That's
it's not
what I'm
like
saying, like,
they're on the team, they're far apart. I think they're
Yeah.
close enough where they can train together.
Boston, Connecticut, and Mass. I think.
yeah.
Yeah,
I would be curious to see how
No, Brockton.
those three guys move forward in the sport. When I'm looking at, again, I'm just coming back, kind of really paying attention to what's going on now more. Those three probably have impressed me the most as to where they could possibly go within what they're doing. Like Mike P said, I like Brandon at the lower weight.
Right.
Yeah, I think if he was up at like 170, 180, that might be too heavy because he's too short, I think. But in that 160 bracket,
I think the natural thing was Romani will end up moving up just because of his height. He will eventually end up moving up whenever that is. Because I think they're about the same age, around the same age. I think Romani just moved up. I think he's like 18.
I think Romani's a little younger. Romani's like 19. Brandon's 20 through 23.
Yeah, I think Romani naturally will end up moving up.
That's fine. I mean, he's a tall enough fighter that he could do that.
Yeah, he can do that. Like, I think that's where the natural progression will go. So those three, I'm just looking at them like, if they're pushing each other and training together, I think they will.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Now let's get to the big one. The big one.
Virtual fight tour.
Yeah. See, walk. Let's go. Let's get it.
All right. We got to make our predictions about what's going down Saturday at 6:00.
Sure.
The virtual fight tour 444. Make sure you get your tickets from it was a lot of announcements.
Yo, I was just getting ready to say,
go ahead, Chris.
Step your game up, son. No, they dropped the My Juventex TV.
Yeah.
So it will be streamed across the way via My Juventex TV or Juventex TV. I want to say it wrong.
Yeah, they're doing that. So it won't be on Zoom. Fingers crossed everything goes smoothly and streams very nicely.
It will.
So let's see. I don't know what Alex is. He's just dropping names at this point. I have no idea what he's talking about.
The level of competition is what he's talking about. The people on the teams, how things are progressing. If it was a full year, it would be a really good year for tournament karate, is what he's trying to say.
Actually, well, it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what ends up happening with
correct
people, and I'm going to say directly because of us, because I'm serious. I'm just gonna say it because we talk. We're sitting here talking about people's fights, how people perform, and I understand that right after one of the events, we get a big jump on people who are watching her, or downloading her, and listening to our podcast. And I know people are listening to us. I see the impact we've having. Not gonna get to this again, but I'm just gonna say, but I think that's going to motivate some people flat out. It's gonna be like, yo, nah, you said it, Trav, you did it. Like, nah, you know,
Put some respect on my name.
yeah, put some respect on my name, Trav. You motivated me. You called me old. Like, hey, this is what it is, brother. I'm just saying. All right, let's get the Virtual Fight Tour 4.
All right.
All right, first fight out the gate will be Hope versus Brianna. Who wants to go first on this fight?
I go. I've seen Brianna fight a couple of times. Not a lot, but I know she runs out of a good camp. She's over there with Troy and them. So that's she's gonna be a scrapper. She's quick. Hope has the experience on her side. I think she's got a stronger leg. And we'll see how it goes into that, depending on their game plan and depending on 3 rounds. Cardio is king.
Yes.
Just because I'm not too educated on Brianna right now, I'm probably going to have to go with Hope. But plus, I've trained with Hope before. I know what her capabilities are. Versus not always what she shows, but where the potential lows. So I'm going with Hope on this one.
All right, Los. What Angel said, you guys helped me out. My draft stock definitely rose because of this challenge.
I love Hope. I think I just known her as a little young junior to becoming a young adult. I know that she was definitely someone that watched me fighting and stuff, and always watched to see me fight. Brandon Nurse is just a little bigger,
yes,
right? And because she's bigger, and kind of knowing that she's coming from that Troy Benz and that Garth Benz type of background, I feel she's going to come with a little more grit, and to the point where she's going to put a lot of pressure, physical presence pressure on Hope. So I would like to see how Hope will respond to that. So I'm not sure how Hope does with bigger fighters per se, because I haven't seen a lot of her. So I'm probably gonna go with Brianna on this one. But obviously, no disrespect to Hope. I love Hope.
I think I'm with you, Los, on this one.
I looked at the teletape to look to see 160, 125, 5'7", 5'3".
Well, so the thing is, I think the experience clearly goes with Hope.
Yes.
But sometimes Hope overthinks things.
Yes.
And so I'm sitting here looking at okay, so is she going to think that she needs to move so much, and Brianna pressing her that the judges are going to be looking for Brianna to be scoring because Hope is moving so much? And I don't want Hope, but being the smaller fighter, this is one of those times she needs to be moving and not standing right in front of her. So It's interesting to me to see how this fight is going to come out, because Brianna is going to come out. I haven't really seen Brianna, but I'm assuming she's 18 years old, being put on this stage. She's going to be hungry, which means when you're hungry, you're going to come flying out at the gate trying to kill your opponent because you want to establish, right? The interesting thing is, can she keep that up for 3 rounds, or is she going to gas herself out?
Yeah,
I have no idea. You know what I mean? This is number one, you're 18, so you just pull stuff out.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know, Energizer Bunny. But the other thing is, if Hope makes her miss enough, is she going to get frustrated and make a lot of mistakes?
I could see Brianna coming out and almost trying to bang Hope up.
Yeah.
And as long as Hope can weather the storm, again, I don't know Brianna, but I feel that if that's her mindset, that mindset will wear once you don't have anything else after it.
And if Hope doesn't get intimidated by it, and overthink,
exactly.
I want to blitz, I think she may still hit me. I need to figure out, and in that hesitation, if she's just committed, if she's just committed, she'll win.
That's what I'm saying. If she can weather the storm, if this girl is going to come and she's going to be like an aggressive fighter and she's going to be just trying to bang Hope out, if Hope can weather that mentally and physically, I think Hope can definitely pull it out in the later round or later 2 rounds, just because of her experience.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, are they in the cage again?
Yes.
I believe so. Yes.
See that mentality of being in the cage is different. Of like I need to fight, which puts Hope at a disadvantage. Of even though it's big enough for her to move, it still makes you want to go forward and fight on the line. It's dicey. So it's a throw up. I mean, this if it was run around, I would be saying Hope. 3 rounds. I'm just curious as to how this is supposed to go. Actually, 2 rounds, I would be saying Brianna, and then 3 rounds is kind of like, it's a toss up. So I'm just gonna, I'm still gonna stick with the plan with Brianna, but I'm not confident in it. I'll say that, because it should be Hope. Hope should win this fight. All right, and then we can move on to Jarrell and Christian. Who went first time? Y'all want me to go first? I always go first. I mean, I always go last. You want me to go
You
first?
always do because you like to straddle the fence.
No, I like to say exactly what I feel. And on this one, I think it's a tall order for Jarrell. I just think it's just a tall order. Being at 3 rounds, why did Jarrell's accomplishments just? All right. But Christian being active, Christian being good, Christian being the younger fighter. I mean, this is a very tall order for Jarrell to come back on with only having 1 fight versus a smaller fighter, which was Zayn. This is a very tall order for Jarrell to step in his ring. My thing with Jarrell is I want to see his determination in this fight. I don't care if he wins, loses. I just want to see him back in this ring, fighting, competing, doing martial arts. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to see him in that ring. That to me is the first step to coming back and being, getting back to what he used to be. Because he always had a lot of talent. He just didn't compete or wasn't committed to it. And so for me, you sign up to doing this, I think this shows that you're getting back into it and you have a level of commitment to it, to the sport. So, but this is a big task for Jarrell. I'm sorry, but I'm going Christian in this one.
So I guess my question would be is what is Jarrell's purpose and goal behind getting back out and fighting again? Right? What is his driving motivation for him to want to come out and do it again? Is it just to kind of get back out, shake it out, get back into the sport, fight, hit some people? What is it? Would be kind of my thing. I think Christian, from what I saw before, he's good. He's good. And they're both tall, like you mean, they're both long. But I think on the technical side, technically sounding, I think Christian's just more technically sound than what Jarrell may be at this point in time. So I'm going to pick with Christian right now.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm going with Christian. It's not that I can't see Jarrell taking this, but ring rust, layoff, activity with Christian. Yeah, I just kind of see Christian taking this one.
Man, I'm telling you, these young kids, man, they
listen.
They want it. You know what I mean?
They played 0 games.
They want their time, and I think honestly, I think it's great. I don't feel like when we was coming up that there was enough younger guys that wanted their time. You get what I'm saying?
A lot of people wanted to be on the team.
Huh?
A lot of people just wanted to be on the team.
Yeah, but these kids, they want their moment. They want their time, and I think that's great.
They don't care about your team.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. All right, let's go on to the next one, and it will be Teresa versus Melanie.
Teresa, this should be a good fight.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
I'm going to pick. It's a toss-up for me. I've never watched either one of them fight, so I'm gonna go A, B, C, and go with Teresa.
All right,
Chris.
Unless
you want me to go.
Nah, I can go. I've seen Teresa fight a bit. She's out of with Keith McKinley's camp, right? So she's she's gonna have a very high IQ. She should have a high IQ with an understanding of how to utilize her leg and then be able to come off with it. But Melanie's experience and knowing what Melanie's good at using the movement and baiting in. I think over 3 rounds, and I know how good Melanie's cardio is, I'm probably going to have to go with Mel.
Let me ask you this, Chris.
Plus,
you've seen both of these fighters.
Yes.
Will either one of them score over 15 points? They are low. They are counter fighters. They are low.
Yeah,
they're not.
Yeah.
I'm going crazy.
This is not going to be the high pace action that this is not going to be the firework fight. No. This is going to be a technical. This is going to be a strategy. This is going to be
they're going to try and make
who makes the correct adjustment. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. This is a cerebral fight versus necessarily we're going to go take off the line and go. So
yeah, I'm going to go with Melanie in this fight. I think being the younger fighter, I think having more success. I just think Melanie's going to win this fight versus Teresa. I do think it's going to be a lot of fakes, moves, angles. The interesting thing is how is Teresa going to respond if Melanie hits her late? I'm just saying, like I know these fighters. I'm just like, all right,
it's Billy, son.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, how's it gonna go? Will it turn up? If it's gonna be interesting to see how this is gonna go, man. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Mel on this fight.
Should be a good one.
Yep. All right. Woo! We got a grappling match, people. Grappling.
Yeah. It's the first grappling match of the Virtual Fight Tour.
Virtual Fight Tour. And with Chris Walker and Mario Ramirez.
Who?
Mario Ramirez.
Who?
Don't try and type. You ain't know how to pronounce his name.
Is that Nathan or Ethan? Which one is that?
Oh.
No. Chris, I think we know who you're gonna pick on this fight.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly don't have anything to say about this because there's no way I'm not going with Chris Walker. So, right. Los.
So, I was thinking to myself, like, as I'm looking at the pictures and stuff, I'm saying to myself, like, yo, that dude got some abs.
D'Angelo.
He got some muscles.
How does it?
I don't know. I gotta.
How does it feel, Chris?
I'm gonna go with Chris on this one. Look at my boy. Let me see, Chris. Let's go, Chris. Yeah.
And because this is a grappling match, I want you guys to know I will not be calling this fight. I'm gonna sit back and have me a nice little tasty beverage, and I'm gonna watch this fight because I honestly, if I was commentating on this fight, I'm like, they doing stuff. I think they trying to do something with the arm over there. I wouldn't know.
Dude's on top. Now he's not on top.
So it's a 1 6-minute round.
Yes, one 6
minute round. What are the rules for it?
So we're following IBJJF rules, which is the pretty much top sanctioning body for jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, everywhere, with the exception of like a couple of outside no-gi stuff. But so there's a point system. You get points for takedowns, passes, sweeps. Yep. Okay. You get advantages for submission attempts. Certain submissions are not allowed via belt rank. So that so there's not, there are things that I can and can't do.
Like heel hooks and things like that.
No heel hooks in a gi, not IBJJF. No, sir, that's not allowed. That is highly frowned
Why can't
upon.
You do that? I don't know what the heel hook is.
The friction between the legs, and it's very hard. It's a lot harder to get out rather than no-gi where there's sweat and skin to skin. So it's more dangerous. You can blow out knees.
Yeah.
All right.
And yeah, Mikey, Mr. Palmero, I don't like decisions, so we'll go with whatever is whatever is out there. I'm pretty cool with whatever, but I don't like decisions at all.
So you saying
I'm looking for a submission.
Okay.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you get down, man. Like I said, there was a time I think it was the U.S. Open. You were doing the sport MMA, and I actually missed your fighting. I missed you doing it, and I really wanted to see you get down and see how you manage on the ground and stuff. So this is exciting for me to see you get out there, man. And I'm looking forward to you get busy.
Nice, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been doing this for a while, so I'm really looking forward to getting out here and getting to show people what else. Martial arts.
I don't think people give you enough credit, man. You are a very well-rounded martial artist, bro. Like, straight music. Like, you got a lot of great athletes, a lot of great martial artists out here, but you are like probably one of the most well-rounded in every aspect of it. And
we had this conversation, like, yo, who else does everything that Chris does? You know what I mean? Like, as far as traditional forms, tricking, weapons, point fighting,
kickboxing,
MMA. Like, it's like, who else does this? Like, I mean, Joe Rogan.
He said Joe Rogan. I like Joe Rogan.
But on that vein, since we won't be calling the fight, they made an announcement this week who will be calling the fight.
This is dope.
And Robin Black. I was like, yo, Jesse was
that's
like,
dope.
He's like, you all right? I was like, no, I'm great with it because that's a relief for me. I had no idea.
That's a big thing, man.
Heck yeah.
Yes.
Robin Black does breakdowns for Bellator. He has he puts on his show. He's had Ross on, Raymond on. Like that's a big move. That's a super really collab right there. That's awesome. And obviously with Mallory and that whole gig out, that's man.
Yep.
Big all things, right. Big announcements. Next up, the co-main event. Fresh off his weekend, moving into the next, Jason Morelli versus Yaskar.
One of the most points ever in Virtual Fight Tour history. Jason said it let it be known. He coming for at the head. I didn't know.
He said, I'll come up at 30.
Ooh. I didn't know Yaskar was that much bigger than him.
What? Yaskar's big, bro.
I mean,
Whoa.
He's 6'4".
That's what I'm saying. I didn't know he was 6'4".
I know that tall.
Yes,
I'm 6'2", so I guess I don't even think I've ever seen him before.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't remember it being that.
Oh no, I've no. Oh yeah, he's tall.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't see Jason scoring the most points in Virtual Fight Tour history.
Now you don't see him scoring 30.
I don't think it's yet.
30 for 40.
No 30.
I'll say 20. I can see 20.
Oh, okay. I don't remember being 6'4", Jess. Just
6'4". He's tall.
All right.
Everybody. Hey, listen. Everybody over 6 foot is 6'4" to me.
Yeah. I'm 6'2", so I'll be 6'1", 6'2". So I already know, like 6'4". That dude is tall.
Wait, he's that big? Whew. All right. About 6 feet, 6'1". Yeah, okay, that makes more. Okay, all right.
Yeah. But I'm thinking when he was fighting Java, like he wasn't that much taller than Java.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I know I've seen him, but I didn't think he was that much bigger than me. Like, I didn't think he was bigger than me. Like, okay, all right. Who y'all going with? Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Jason because I want to see him get out and do his thing. I want to see him win. Right, but I think Yaskar might be tough. It'd be a tough matchup from what I saw last weekend. If Jason doesn't make some adjustments to what he did last weekend to kind of improve from what happened last weekend, I think Yaskar might be a little challenge for him. But I'm gonna pick Jason. Go Jay.
Chris.
I see Jason making those adjustments because versus a tournament style versus one fight in 3 rounds. But with that said, based off of performances, what I've seen this year, I'm gonna have to go with Yaskar. Just from even what I saw Jason earlier at AKAs this year, last weekend at Pro Point, and from what I've seen from Yaskar a year, that's where I'm going.
So it's up to me to break the tie on this one, huh?
Mike P says cardio.
Yeah, and
he's not gonna get enough cardio. He's not gonna get enough cardio in 1 week though, bro. Like that's just not.
Ben brought up a good point. He said Jason looked great on the weekend. Hope his ribs are okay. JF caught him nice in the second round.
That was a hard shot.
All right.
Yeah, I think it'll be okay
I
too.
think he'd be fine. This one is a hard one for me. My head is literally saying Yaskar is going to win this fight.
What about heart?
Yeah, my heart is saying Jason is going to win this fight.
Right.
Like I want
that's where I'm at. I just picked my head this time.
Midwest. That's like Chicago. Detroit. I will talk junk about Chicago, but the moment if anybody from Chicago was fighting somebody else who's not from Chicago, chances are I'm cheering for the person from Chicago because I probably grew up with them, knew them, all that other stuff. So I would be cheering for Jason in this fight. Well, technically not, but I'll be commentating. But I would want to see Jason win the fight. But my head is saying, that third round, Yaskar's going to pull it out and win it.
To make a choice.
Yeah. Can I
ride that fence real long?
He
He got the splits down. He was really working for that Virtual Forms tour.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't think we weren't gonna do it.
I was just trying to I'm letting you guys know my thought process on this one. But last time I went with my head when I picked. I'm going to go with my heart on this one. I'm gonna go with Jason. I'm gonna go with Jason on this. I think. It's Jason. I think Jason may pull something out that we haven't seen in a long time. Like Jason just conjures up the old Jason and then just pulls it out. But that third round is going to be very telling to it. All right. So now here we are with the main event. Team versus team. Wait, I don't have the new graphic yet. So Robbie's not there, but Jack is going to be the person in place for Robbie. So it's Kevin and Jack versus Tyreek and Troy. I kind of feel I know where you guys are going to go, but on this one. But let's hear your thoughts on the fight.
Chris, you can go first.
All right. So this is a good setup. This is like something we've seen before. Where we're going to see both fighters fight each other. So, and strategies, matchups, who fights back to back and all that jazz is going to play a factor into this. But so you'll see Kevin fight both Tyreek and Troy, and Jack fight the same.
No, I don't say it. I don't know.
But yeah.
Chris, I don't know.
7 rounds. Troy and Kevin, long fighters, will be interesting to see if they fight first or if they fight second, where they fight, either nullifying each other's legs and then closing the distance, who pushes on the hands. Obviously, I got Kevin making the adjustments a little quicker, but who knows? Tyreek is going to pose a little bit more of a challenge with the moving. But there are things to negate that I'm sure Kevin is well aware of. In that I can see that being close, and then Jack being Jack and securing a good score on both rounds. So I got All-Stars winning by a pretty good, not like blowout, but a convincing win.
I think Kevin will be the common denominator in this fight. Being that I believe that Tyreek and Jack will have a really good fight. I think Jack would beat Troy, but I think Kevin will be the common denominator between the other two as to how that plays out in those rounds and where they fall at in those rounds. I'm always going to pick my brothers, my all-star brothers, all the time, but that is going to. I think Kevin is going to be the deciding factor. I believe, not so much Jack. And that's I'm going to pick the All-Stars, but I think Tyreek and Troy have a chance to possibly sneak something out of it if they get the matchups to be right and if the situation turns out right and not everybody's on where they need to be.
I believe it is, Mike. I believe it is total points for all the matches, but I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
All right. So originally, when I saw this fight, I was intrigued by it, and I was trying to weigh everything about who I thought would win. And honestly, I thought top 10 would pull that out against All Stars if it was just Robbie and Kevin. But then you throw in Jack, it's just like, okay, the whole table's just flipped. Like, it's there. The thought process to me is top
Correct.
10 needs to not have Jack in the last round. In that last fight, I would be trying to find some way to make sure that Jack is not the last fighter, because Jack just goes to another level.
When he's got to close it, absolutely.
Yeah, when he has to close it, Jack will go to another level. So I'm like, I would be trying to find a way to finagle to have Kevin be the quote unquote closer, because Kevin can make. Jack doesn't beat himself. You know what I mean? Like it's very rare Jack is going to make a mistake. Very rare that he's going to make that mistake. And if he does, you have to capitalize on it. Like bah. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see how Tyreek and Troy handle Jack in this round. But that's all. To me, their best shot is having Kevin as the closer, and there's too many ways that doesn't happen. So for me, I got to go with All Stars on this one. I thought it would have been a better matchup if Robbie was in there, because then I think it's a little bit more tense. With Jack, it's just kind of Tyreek would not be smart to be blitzing Jack a lot, and that is his main weapon, is his speed. The moment he'll catch Jack a couple times, and then Jack will. Once
Jack makes that adjustment,
makes that adjustment like you saw what he did with Bailey, it would not be a smart thing. And so, Troy would be smart enough to know it, but I don't know what the record is between Troy and Jack, but I don't think it's favorable for Troy on that one. But at the same time, Troy has gotten better than he used to be. So.
Agreed.
It's going to be a very entertaining match. And like you said, Los, I do think it comes down to Kevin, and if Kevin is focused on winning, focused on and not looking good when he's winning. If he's focused on him winning, then the All-Star should win this.
I always had the saying when it came to team fighting, and I mean, we all kind of agree with, I'm sure, was that as long as everybody wins their fight, we're fine.
Yes.
Your goal is to win the fight. You win your fight. Now, if you don't win your fight, then it's my job as the anchor or the person that's coming in to pick up. But ultimately, that is everyone's goal, is to win their fight. So if Kevin goes in with the mindset, I'm going to win each round, each fight, and then Jack has that same mindset, then they should be good. But it just depends as to what again, he's the common denominator. And I feel like, because again, you sometimes you don't know what you're gonna get from him.
Yes.
The talent, the kid, I watched this kid, I'm like, yo, I've been watching him since when he was with Full Circle. Like, yo, this dude is like, he's got some.
Here's the thing. You can't run up the score to negate Jack. I can't see Kevin getting the score ran up on him.
No, not at all. No,
you know what I mean. I can't see that. Yep. So that means you have to beat them incrementally. And if they can keep the score low with Jack,
nullify, and then who said that earlier? Yeah. So run up the score on the weak link and neutralize the better fighter, Mike.
Yeah, that would be the damn, that was called Kevin the weak link.
No. I'm just saying that was the quote. I didn't say that. Mike
be raw sometimes.
Yes, he is. I love it.
He just said that for the general principle of the fight.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I get it. But
that's the way it always has been. That's the way it always has. That's how you always set it up that way. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's strategy. Like, that's just how it's got to go. I get it.
Well, it's not always like that. People don't understand that, unfortunately, sometimes. And you can see that's why people's lineups don't change. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah, they always put whatever.
continue.
So it's going to be interesting with I do want to see Troy and actually I want to see Troy. I want to see Troy versus all of them. Actually, I'm interested in seeing that fight in particular. Troy versus Kevin. Troy versus
What makes you want to see that?
I knowing Troy since he was younger, and watching him, how much he's improved over the last, probably even, I don't know, since he came back out, because he went away and then he came back out and he was like a different fighter. Like, how when you get older, you get smarter and you're not relying on your gifts, your talent so much. Troy came back that way. He was picking people apart and he was using his, and he hadn't lost I'm gonna say he hadn't lost a step, but he hadn't lost a lot of his talent. So, but he gained his knowledge of how he sees fight, and he was more relaxed, almost as if he didn't have the pressure on him.
So I'm gonna share something. I don't know if Jody be upset with me sharing this with everybody right now, but there was a time that Jody and I had a conversation, and he said, "Los, Troy has a potential to be the next king of New York."
Yes.
I said, "Jody, that's a tall billing." He's like,
Yes.
"No, you don't understand. Like Troy has it all." He said, "I just have to get him to believe it. I got to see it, right?" And I think just in general, like how you said, like how he used to be and where he's at now, like you said, the pressure of feeling like you got to carry that torch.
Yep, I think it's gone
because you're coming under. You figure he's coming under Jody, Jesse, like you mean all these guys these like true Garth, like all these true like straight like kings in New York, like you mean like they was the stables coming out of there. So if he's the next heir apparent, there's a lot of pressure on that. Like you mean I can see that, and like how you said right now, him coming back and just kind of like not having that pressure and just kind of able to just be him and be free and just do what he does, like you mean, and let everything else fall where it's gonna fall. Big shout out to Troy, and I would love to see him get busy this weekend. But
and that's why because
Troy
is
agree.
a blitzer, you know what I mean. So I don't, and now he's not doing the young person raise my leg and try and force something. So Jack's not gonna be able to step in on that. That's why it's interesting to me to see how he's going to handle that. He's going to try to he's going to space Jack out a little bit more because he's taller than Jack. Like, how is he going to push this narrative and impose his will on it? And I'm interested in just seeing that style, those two styles fight. Kevin, on the other hand, against Troy, Kevin's going to be moving and he can't kick, and he's going to be moving in and out. But I think Troy will be trying to time Kevin a lot more. So I'm interested in that. Tyreek, on the other hand, to me, is still in that young man. I'm faster than you. I'm going ahead.
When I take off, I'm going.
I'm going.
Right. Yeah. 100%.
To me, against Jack, that you can win the first 30 seconds, but that last minute and a half, Jack's going to turn it up, and he's going to catch your timing and start going at you in that sense.
And now that you say it, I'm actually really excited to see Troy and Jack because they was on Victor together. They're kind of like the same, like in that same age bracket, kind of close category type thing. Like that to me, that's an exciting to see that. I want to see. I want to see that fight. That's the one I want to see.
See how I sell the fights.
Yeah, you sold it. You sold me on it, Trav.
Sold me, Travis.
Like, yeah.
But then the Tyreek and Kevin, I think Tyreek is faster than Kevin, but I think Kevin's length is going to be and Kevin's not slow. So therefore, Kevin's length versus Tyreek's speed, it's going to be interesting how Tyreek navigates that. Is he going to take the same approach that he did with Bailey, or is he going to switch it and make Kevin miss and then take off? Or what is his approach to this? So this is, and then have to change in how you fight against Jack. To me, I think Tyreek versus Jack, I think the smart move would be Tyreek to frustrate Jack. But I don't think Tyreek is like, nah, I'm not going to try and frustrate. I'm going to try and beat you. I'm going to try and knock your head off. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like, all right, but even if you win the fight 8-9, you might blow your gas out on Jack, and now you got
Kevin to deal with after.
Yeah. And it comes into who's fighting back to back. So there's a lot of strategy that has to go into this.
You know what I would love
Absolutely.
to see too is and this is again I use Kevin as a common denominator because I like to see how he thinks, right? Let's say he had, whoever it was that had to do that fight with Jack, or whoever it was that had to have that real intense fight. Would Kevin go and see that person's tire and press them, or would he use movement and space and kind of let them regather themselves? If you understand what I mean. Well, how do you think Kevin, from your experience watching Kevin go, like what would you think? How would you think he would approach that?
I don't think Kevin would try and press him, because I think if Kevin, I've never really seen Kevin as being like this super high pace, but it's a young high pace, but not a super high pace. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see Kevin dropping 15 on somebody. I see him dropping 10, 11, 12, but getting into that 15, 17, to me, that's when you're pressing, you getting kicks off on people. You're, as soon as they say go, you're lifting your leg. Kevin's not that. Kevin's faking you and pressuring you without throwing techniques as much. You know what I mean? Faking, angling, but he's not that person who's going to, if I'm kicking at you, you better either move or you better throw something, and that tires people out. Right. I don't see Kevin doing that. He'll fake and move, and he'll angle, and he'll throw kicks and punches, but I don't see him keeping the pressure to make that person even more tired. I don't see that happening.
Okay.
The only person I see doing that in this is Tyreek.
Yeah.
To me, Tyreek is that person who will be pressing the action, trying to get the other person tired.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. But anyway, we over 90 minutes. What else we got? Anything else we want to talk about, man? Anything else?
Man, listen, did y'all see that crazy knockout from the UFC this weekend?
Which one?
The Jacare, my man.
Oh yeah.
From the
From
ground.
From the ground, yeah.
From the bottom.
Dude was trying to get him on the
No, they were on the ground. He swung his leg around, hit him in the temple, put his hand on the mat, picked it up, hit him in the jaw, then stood up, cradled his head because he was trying to slump back in a meditation pose, and just rained hands on him.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 shots while he was cupping the back of his neck. Just
bing, that clip.
Bing,
I need to
bing.
see that.
Oh my goodness.
He definitely gave it to him. Yeah, that was a crazy knockout.
JDS, Junior Dos Santos got knocked out, but like that I mean, it was a beating, but it wasn't like that one.
No, yeah. That should have been knockout of the night for sure.
Man, listen, that might have been knockout of the daggone year.
The last fight,
the spin back kick from the check, it was probably gonna win it, but
yeah,
that was just ridiculous from the ground, from the bottom.
Yeah,
the kid's on a 5-fight win streak. He's fought 5 times this year.
Well, the craziest thing is that I love how he literally used the dude's body with his legs to frame him so he can throw the punch off of that. Like it was crazy how he set that up. It was really nice.
Slid in Z guard, pushed off. As soon as he came back in, slid back in, he threw the first hand.
Try like Z guard. What's that?
See, that's something that you'd have to be concentrating on.
Figueroa fight with
Figgy and
Moreno.
Brandon Moreno.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
I thought that was a good fight too.
I felt Brandon didn't do enough to beat the champion.
Right. I felt like that was the right decision though.
Yeah.
Draw. One guy saw one winner, and it went that way. Podcast Tifa
versus Alex.
We got 3 people. We got 2. Can't do it.
Right. We can't do that.
Nah.
But yeah.
You know, one thing we haven't talked about, and eventually we have to get into this, is Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia. Did y'all watch that?
I don't really watch boxing.
I watched the replay. Yeah. Sorry, what?
I
that
watched.
Is interesting, actually,
it's like I thought.
Oh yeah.
Set up the Crawford fight. Like, I'm sorry. I need to see Errol Spence versus Crawford. Now, I hope it happens before they get too old. Number one. But
I hadn't been impressed with Danny Garcia the last couple. And I'm not a big boxing fan, but I have watched some of the fight stuff. But I haven't really been.
I've never been impressed with Danny.
I've never really been impressed.
Oh, okay. I should say that. I will say this: he's
good.
He's a world champion.
Yes.
He's not above world champion.
He's not that. He's not that multi-divisional world champion. He's not moving out of his class. Like correct.
He can win a world championship. Yes. But when every loss he's taken, he fought against Thurman, I think.
Yep.
Porter, And then it's the guys who are above the world championship, and he just can't.
It's like a different level world champion.
It's a different level where they are. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it is what it is. But no, that is the fight to make.
We are not all equals.
Mike, it's got a lot of mics.
My base talking about Anthony Joshua. You see that, fam? Anthony Joshua.
I saw. I think he started been posting because he got a fight coming up, right?
Yeah,
no, it's fun.
It's fun.
Anthony Joshua fought this weekend.
Yeah, Trev.
I literally did not see that.
There's a lot of fights.
I was too busy watching the virtual.
I crushed.
Too busy watching the virtual form store. I missed that. I completely missed that. I gotta watch that now. That's what I hate about boxing. I don't know when people are fighting. That's what makes me upset. I don't know. Yeah. I have no clue when these guys are fighting. Anyway, all right, we got to get out of here, people. We're way over time.
It was a great show. We got
Bernie left us. She was burning sage.
Let's go, virtual fight tour.
I've been trying to rush
Make sure you guys get your tickets.
If you feel this shit, that mean I did this right. Wonder how you other artists sleep at night.
Right.
Bro was riding dirty before he had the tent. Put a good friend that came and went. So you ain't about bullshit.